Okay, so I got something fun.
Okay.
Okay. So I mean, it's like a radio show, right? So what we need is a soundboard.
And quite specifically, a fart soundboard. Ew.
Yeah, that sounded like a wet one.
Ew. It did. Oh, that was just a little baby one.
Okay, while I do have a number of different farts, it's not entirely a fart soundboard. I also have
let down.
I also have famous clips from top-rated movies.
I like to do my beach, cruising green, play 3-car money on these.
Oh my god, that's from the past.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
like
why?
okay.
Did you specifically get that from the past?
Okay, so I may have spent all night cutting up the pest, the film, into sound bites, the entire film. Also, Columbo.
Can I ask you a personal question?
That's awesome, dude. That's great. Look at you. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Very good. Very, very, very good.
I appreciate that. And of course, it wouldn't be the 70s without lapels. All right, folks.
Everyone sit the hell down.
Or
sit down right now.
If what one of you guys is talking for too long, I can just be like,
Hi. You got a second?
That is the rudest thing I've ever heard.
Okay, so what's been okay? So that clip was from. Did you guys not see Steve's big anniversary announcement?
Steve who?
Steve who? Fuck you, Steve who? Steve from Blue's Clues.
Oh yes, I did. Yes, of course.
Okay, so I've got a couple of clips from that in case anyone who's listening might have missed it. Just go watch the whole thing, but it's good for it to be fresh so we can discuss it. So here Steve talks about leaving and how he left abruptly.
You remember how when we were younger we used to run around and hang out with Blue and find clues and talk to Mr. Salt and freak out about the mail and do all the fun stuff? And then
I never freaked out about the mail.
I was like, oh hey, guess what?
I did.
I'm leaving. This is my brother Joe. He's your new best friend. And then I got on a bus and I left. That was really challenging, by the way, but great because I got to use my mind and take a step at a time, and now I literally am doing many of the things that I wanted to do.
Was he mad that he got kicked out? Is that what's going on?
No,
wasn't he just getting too old?
No, yeah, he very famously just left the show for a few reasons. He had a band, he had been doing the television show instead of doing college. When he started, he was very young. He had started going bald, and he didn't feel like it was appropriate for that role, for it to be an old bald guy. So notice the hat. I don't know if you've seen the video. We're just listening to audio here, but the hat. He's got a hat on because he's bald. He's bald as shit, And
he got replaced by a Filipino.
Eventually, it kind of looked like the Filipino was the third. Yeah, it was kind of
right. I think the Filipino guy was the third. Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's maybe the current one.
Like that old saying about Filipinos: always the third host of the children's television show.
It's correct in this case. It's actually really this case.
It's literal in this case.
It is. It's very literal.
No, literally this time. So I guess the whole point of him coming out of hiding.
He came out.
No, he just it was just a 25th anniversary thing, and he's glad that we were friends.
Yeah.
And I wanted to tell you that I really couldn't have done all of that without your help. And in fact, all the help that you helped me with when we were younger is still helping me today, right now. And that's super cool. I guess I just wanted to say that after all these years, I never forgot you, ever. And I'm super glad we're still friends.
You hear that, you guys? He'd be on heroin if it wasn't for us.
and he lets out a wet one.
That was the
a
part
big
about the
lunch.
video that really like weirded me out. He kept
Yeah, and then when he exclaimed that he had a big lunch, I was like, "What the hell?"
I'm so sorry. I had a large with a lot of
I had a big lunch.
Okay.
Oh my god, that's funny. No, did you watch that, Johnny?
Actually, no, I did not watch that. That's why I'm a little lost. But I looked up, and you are right. Steve is bald now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He ain't got no hair, and that's okay.
if they wanted
That's
to do
okay.
a reboot of like Blue's Clues with like like it's like Steve, and maybe like change the design of Blue so that like Blue's a little older, and then
like Blue's maybe like the size of maybe like Clifford's age.
What I'm saying is, if they did exactly Blue's Clues with the original Steve, but for adults, like maybe like in the one episode he's got to go to the dispensary, but he can't remember where he left his wallet, so like he's got to follow Blue's Clues to his wallet so he can get to the dispensary,
right? Or he has to get
hilarious.
like get a colon scan.
A clue,
colon
a clue.
cancer. He has to go do that. There's a clue. There's a polyp.
There's a clue in there. Yeah, that's dope.
Well, you said it's where
a solemn scene, Mr. Pepper, where I am sorry, I heard the news. I have no words. Sorry,
but I can offer you testimony. I grew up. Oh yeah. The joke was that good. It was that good.
I may not have listened to all of these. Ooh, that's fair. If we want to do a sketch and we need a telephone.
That kind of reminded me of Ghostbusters telephone. But I think the Ghostbusters telephone was just a ring. I think it was just like a classic telephone
Ghostbusters,
ring.
that was a successful film.
Yeah, yes, it was enough to make a. Is this their fourth film now? Is this what's coming out soon?
This one better be good, or I'm out the door.
Right out the door.
So I've been really interested in hearing how you dealt with the latest What If episode, because
you know what? Yeah, because it was zombies. Is that what you mean?
You have like this zombie phobia,
right? You know what? I was reading it on Twitter. I was reading people's reactions. I do that if I'm gonna watch anything remotely scary. I will read reviews on it, or I'll read like someone telling the story of it, like a Wikipedia plot. And I was looking up on Twitter, and everyone was saying it was so good, and some people were saying they actually added elements of terror and it actually scared me, and they actually showed this one scene where and when I say one scene, the person on Twitter posted some comic book pages from the zombie comics, and they were like, I can't believe they reenacted this scene from the comics. And so I saw the comic, and the comic was gross, and I was like, yeah. So I was kind of preparing myself. I got my helmet on and put on my goggles,
girding your loins with the truth.
Yes. And you're filling my loins. And so, you know what? There was enough comedy, I feel, and you could tell that they were keeping kids in mind, because, it didn't get so grotesque. For example, I just watched I think the first episode of Invincible, and I had that imagery locked in my head for a couple days. Like, it was just kind of stuck in my head, and I didn't like it. And with this, it was cool. It was like, okay, that was kind of cool with the zombies. It wasn't too bad.
Invincible shows you the gore when someone gets their head exploded. It doesn't cut away.
Right.
You see
exactly.
With the Marvel, every time there was something that was particularly gruesome, either they cut away or they showed it in deep shadow.
Well, Invincible adds a slow motion. They'll do a lot of gore with a lot of slow motion, where everything in Marvel happened very quick. Like, for example, when Hope went into a zombie's mouth as her wasp small self, and when she popped open, whenever she grew, obviously, the zombie exploded. But
okay, so continuity error. Hey, Marvel. Hey, you fucking idiots. Hey, you fucking dimwits. Okay, let me teach you how to make a fucking film or cartoon show or whatever. Okay, her helmet, she explodes the zombie, her helmet is covered in goo. Her suit's covered in goo, and then her helmet slides down, and her hair is covered in goo. Hey, morons. Hey, how'd the goo get inside of her helmet?
Yeah.
Fucking
Okay.
Feige,
So
you hack.
I wasn't a fan. I didn't like it. It wasn't that interesting to me. I feel like this was like the least my least favorite episode. I felt like it was too quick. It was too fast. Everything was moving way too quickly. And the zombie thing, all right, what I didn't like the most is how are you a zombie and you still have your powers? I guess,
Yeah.
that was
But wasn't that the case in the comic
Yeah,
book?
and
Wasn't that the case in the comic
yeah,
book?
in the comics, they're just smart enough to use their powers, not incredibly effectively, but
but they have
Yeah,
their
and even
powers.
have conversation apparently.
Yeah.
There was just a lot going on there. Yeah, like zombie Wanda, whenever Vision like self-destructs and kills himself, takes the Mind Stone out of his head. She's
Mm-hmm.
like zombified, but like, oh no, my husband is dead. Like, I should be like, you know what I mean? I'm kind of like, dude, you're a fucking zombie. You don't have feelings like that.
Well,
There's no,
okay, every creator has their own rules for their zombies,
I
right? Like
guess.
Romero zombies are a stereotypical zombie. They're completely mindless, and all they do is consume. And it was like this critique on communism or something. I forget exactly what. But then there's like the Zack Snyder zombies that are super fast, and of course he did another zombie movie where like they're actually quite intelligent and have like a semblance of a society and mourn the dead even though they're already dead. So it'd be it's treated just like a transition to a different kind of being as opposed to like a death. I give them a pass. Every group of zombies has their own rules. That's just always been true. Every creator wants to do something different with zombies. That's fine. I think it's really interesting though how dark the What If series has gotten. Like it started off with like, what if T'Challa was Star-Lord? Oh, T'Challa, you're awesome at everything. I know, my dick is big too. And then like Doctor Strange destroys the entire universe, and then the Avengers get murdered one by one, and then
Right.
the zombie apocalypse kills like your favorite hero. I didn't imagine it being this dark when it was announced.
Yeah, I guess I can agree with that. I guess I can definitely agree with that. I'm very sensitive to that, so I can definitely say that. I don't really complain or talk about it. I'm not here to, really complain about something I can't control. And there's a lot of stuff. I mean, media in general has gotten very dark, I feel. There's a lot of movies and shows out that are dark tones. It doesn't necessarily surprise me, I guess. But, from someone who does have a zombie phobia, the episode it didn't burn any images into my head like other shows have.
It seemed pretty clear that they're going to do like at least a sequel episode. Didn't they announce a movie, Marvel Zombies movie, or am I making that up in my head?
I don't think they have because I would have remembered that, but I might be wrong, so I don't.
I'm not
But
sure.
there
I can't confirm or deny.
There was clear setup for like something in the future at the end of that episode, which it'll be interesting to see like where that goes.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, guys, with this whole zombie thing. So they like the reason why Vision was not being affected is because of the Mind Stone. Like he had the ability to kind of like zombies were after like what, brain waves? Is that what they were doing?
Human pheromones is what the zombies are attracted to, and he doesn't give off human pheromones.
Right, but they were talking about something about the brain waves though, weren't they? Or was I just mistaken? And I only say that because I'm kind of like, wait, would that mean like that telepaths would be protected because they could kind of just
No, Vision's probably like the character that's most guilty of having plot power. Like his powers contain the ability to do whatever the plot requires at any given moment. Like sometimes he's weak, sometimes he's super strong, sometimes his laser's super powerful, sometimes it can't quite penetrate a thing, sometimes it can keep zombies away. Okay.
right.
Yeah,
That's
very, very, very interesting. Very interesting. But it was okay. It was all right. Everyone on Twitter was giving it a lot of hype, but I think it was all right. It wasn't a bad episode, I guess.
I like that it's a 3D CG animated show because that means like they can rapidly iterate. Like the hard part really is rigging everything and like building the character models.
Mm-hmm.
And then like once you got that, you can just like animate them.
I know. And I only say that because like they somehow brought back Scott Lang's brain and all he did was, I don't know, mind wipe on him. It was that I was having a hard time like wrapping my head around. What is going on? Like, is it like a brain thing? That's why I'm all like, dude, good thing they didn't have telepaths like Emma Frost on here because she would be saved. And she has diamond form, so it's not like they could bite her. Oh, dude, another thing. Hope Van Dyne in the beginning, whenever they saved him, she was like going through all the zombies like as a little, wasp form, and she wasn't affected. But you're right. Whenever she went inside Sharon Carter, all of a sudden she was affected. You know what I mean?
It was
So it was a little kind of weird.
It was all right. I don't know. I mean, I guess there were some parts that were kind of weird. So I mean, it definitely wasn't. It wasn't my favorite.
So, have you guys heard about John Mulaney?
Yeah, that he's going to be a papa.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. I mean, well, just like the whole year, like
I know.
he's had here. Hang on.
You were in studio a while back.
I'm told that I was, yeah.
Yeah. You had a year.
Yeah, I did. I packed a lot into this. Is it September now?
It is September, yeah.
Okay, so I went to rehab in September.
Mhm.
I got out in October. I move out of my home from my ex-wife. I host Saturday Night Live on Halloween. I relapse on drugs after the show. And then I'm told I took a job here.
Mm-hmm.
And I continued using drugs. You and some other friends staged an intervention, as you recall. I went to rehab again, this time for 2 months. I got out in February. I lived in sober living for another month and a half. Then in the spring, I went to Los Angeles, met and started to date a wonderful woman named Olivia.
Who I know well.
Yes,
a
you
lovely
know
woman.
Olivia Munn very well.
That's really cool that it's Olivia.
I know.
He talks a little bit about their relationship. He seems very happy.
I got into this relationship that's been really beautiful with someone incredible who has dealt with the non-coked up Bambi version of me. And that's been very incredible. And she's kind of held my hand through that hell. And we're having a baby together.
It's really exciting, buddy.
Thanks.
Congratulations to both.
I was nervous when I was about to say the news.
Yeah, that was the actual announcement. Him and Seth Meyers are like really close friends in real life. You know? I thought the most interesting part of the interview was, in fact, when they were like talking about how they did this intervention. Like Seth Meyers and a bunch of apparently like comedy heavyweights did like an actual. There's a person there that they've hired to help like intervention.
Welcome back to Late Night. We're here with John Mulaney. You mentioned the intervention. How was it for you?
How it was for me, my intervention was when I opened the door, I knew right away it was an intervention, which that's how bad of a drug problem I had. That when I opened a door and saw people, I went, this is probably an intervention. Yeah. You know the gambit that I was going to dinner with a friend from college at their apartment. And so you were the first person I saw as I walked through the doorway where I knew this was an intervention. So I'm like going to dinner with a friend from college, going to dinner with a friend from college, going to dinner with a friend from college. What's Seth Meyers doing here?
I thought the cool thing about people going, this is a terrible thing to say, the cool thing about people going through like really hard times is that you can get a lot of humor out of it. Like I just have like a few, so the whole interview is like 20 minutes long, but I want to play just like a couple of clips and talk about it.
You obviously know what an intervention is. You're a smart guy. And it was my memory of it was how quickly you tried to tell all of us. Like you were like, I get it. It's an intervention. I get it. We're good. I agree.
I remember walking in and going, okay. Okay. And then, God, I needed to be the smartest person in the room, even at the intervention. So I remember... I remember saying to all of you, before you all read your letter, I have a drug problem and I need help. Just to scoop you so that...
Yeah, so we all had to go through and
everyone had to cross out the
part where we told you had a drug problem.
I got no intro now.
Or now we had to say, we were like, as you previously mentioned.
You know, it's like John says, you have a drug problem.
He's like the cattiest straight person in the world.
Man, I don't know what it is. I've left astrology and left aspects of astrology behind, but I'll tell you what, Libra 2s, man, they're like that. They have that sharp, that quick, I have to be the smartest person in the room. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of his, and now that I think of it, that is like really like very much his like stand-up style as well.
also
Yeah,
well,
I mean, he's also a writer, so
let's
yeah.
be real. It's also about a sense of control. He knew that he was walking into a situation where control was going to be given to people that care about him instead of him having that control of, listen, this is my life. Now he had to kind of give up that a little bit of that sense of controlling his life because at the very moment he was not, he was not in the right path, and that's why his friends decided to do an intervention on him. So it's still, you still want some sense of control.
Well, hang on. It's not an exorcism. They had an intervention with him. They didn't perform.
Well, no, I know. No, but okay, yes, I understand. But it's still, you are still being put. You're still in a room with your closest people and your shit.
And there is a
priest. Yeah, there's someone like there. You are still, all your shit is being aired out right then and there. And there has to be, we want some sort of control about, listen, just because I'm doing this shit doesn't mean this. You know what I mean? It's still a sense of, you want something, you want to control.
Yeah, of course.
I like him though. Hey,
Okay,
I'm glad that he did it. I'm glad that he's using it as more, his journey is he's using it more of a comedy. It takes a lot vulnerability. Yeah, it takes a lot to actually turn something that some people think is a negative aspect of yourself to turn it into something positive,
He had a full year of being tabloid fodder, and he's just like being completely open about it. Okay, there's one more little clip that
there was a wonderul professional there, a professional interventionist. And she was doing what a professional does, and you were very much like, am I allowed to jump in?
Yeah.
Like you very much wanted to let her know that you were ready to get past.
You're doing a kind version of how I came off, I think. I recall a few times going, I know what an intervention is. And the worst part was, and I do regret this, that two things I kept doing. I kept insisting I was sober at the intervention. Remember when I looked at everyone and I went, I'm sober now. I'm sober right now. I wasn't. Yeah, I was on. I remember when I kept going to the bathroom, that was for drugs. So, but then the other thing that still sticks, do you remember when I insisted on getting the credit for days I hadn't used drugs?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really weird hill to die on in the middle of an intervention. To be like, I want you all to acknowledge that Monday and Tuesday I didn't do it.
Yeah, see, sense of control.
Okay, we
sense
acknowledge
of control.
Man, I love my Libra 2s, man. Fucking
and because
hilarious.
of the magic of my brand new device here, which is poorly constructed but has rows and rows of buttons, I now have the Seth Meyers little online theme. So anytime we need to end a bit, we can just be like. And that's how the Wop Wop got her dues. What about Matrix Resurrections? What do we think?
Yeah, did you guys see the trailer?
I saw it.
I saw a little bit of it. Yeah, let me go watch it real quick.
Wait a minute. Always be waiting. I see you shiver with anticipation.
All right. Yeah, I just watched it.
Yeah.
I have questions upon questions now. Now I feel like I want to rewatch. Didn't he sacrifice himself at the end of the last one?
Yeah, they're making it. Yeah, you are right. The questions I have. The first question that I have is that how did everything seemingly reset? It's almost like he's back stuck in a Matrix situation where he's just life and he doesn't know what's going on, and I have dreams and
not only that, but
Trinity is I don't know you.
And Trinity died in the last one.
That's right. Trinity did die in the last one.
So I guess my question now is was she backed up into the database of the Matrix and that's why she's alive again? Did they restart everything? So yeah, I do have to watch it. I'm interested. I I like it. That black guy is everywhere right now. I guess he's the new Morpheus. He's also he was on Candyman and was it Wanted? The superhero? No, it wasn't Wanted. Watchmen. He was on Watchmen.
Oh, in the show.
Yeah. So I like him. He's a good actor, really good actor. But now I'm just, so is he young Morpheus?
That was weird to me. Okay, so we've got action actual Keanu Reeves. We got actual what's her name, Trinity, and then like we found someone who looks like Morpheus. Like what went on behind? If this is like a soft reboot, like the first Star Wars movie, I am so down. I'm very interested in seeing like a next generation, because like it was just about the style. Like from the little bit that I saw, it seems like Ms. Wachowski like has really spent a lot of time like thinking about the choreography and the action and the style of everything, and I'm really down with that. And the updated goth club aesthetic, like now it's not a chick with slick back gel black hair, it's now like a chick with like kind of frizzy blue hair. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're in the next generation. It's like the Ghostbusters film coming up.
Yeah, you make a small point there with kind of like the color change in like even just the hair. I noticed that dark greenish gray filter isn't used on every frame where it's looking like it's some dingy LA, where it's just some dingy weird digital version of LA. It kind of has a little bit more color. Resurrections.
The 2000s were what they were.
Right.
But yeah, she's grown as a director.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was both of them.
I think it's just
time.
just one of them.
Yeah, it's just one of them. It's just one of them. Yeah, the other one was like, no, I'm good.
No, okay, whatever.
The other one.
Well, the other sibling.
I mean, I don't know who's who or anything about the creative process, so like it doesn't fucking matter to me. It looks promising. Maybe they both died, and these are versions of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like the Merovingian, or like maybe they're programs that have slipped through the cracks, just like in the same way.
Yeah,
and they happen to lead a new. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Well, another thing is I really like Keanu Reeves, obviously, but I wish that he would have cut his hair or maybe trimmed his beard. He's kind of looked the same in all of his stuff that he's been doing in like the past couple years. He's coming back. He's always looked like the same, very like beard with long hair. Like I kind of wish he would switch it up, because I just feel like Keanu Reeves is just playing himself in every stinking role.
I don't remember if I watched the whole movie. I know I started it or something. I don't know. But the new Bill and Ted, I think he doesn't have the beard in that.
You're right, actually.
Okay.
All right. Hey. All right. No, I haven't seen it either, but I think you're right about that in the preview. I saw that.
He still has the long hair.
Long hair.
That's classic Keanu Reeves, though. I feel like that's just that's his little thing.
Yeah.
And it's like his 80-year-old girlfriend, and like he's a cool guy. He bought people motorcycles one time. I approve of Keanu Reeves. Honestly, though, The Matrix is one of those. So you don't have to do a handoff, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
With Matrix, like you have to do a handoff with the Star Wars. What was another one where they had like the old cast with with a young generation? There've been a few. I just can't think of any.
Honestly, I disagree with, especially like Star Wars, and I think that was honestly the biggest mistake that they did with the newest little trilogy that they kind of had, because they tried to connect it so much to the old trilogy, where they have to be connected somehow. Where my personal thoughts, you don't really have to, because if you're a Jedi and the midichlorians are in you, you don't have to be a part of the Skywalker family or the Han Solo family. Or I felt like they should have just started with a whole brand new generation that is going to steady and balance the Force with new Jedis, instead of that are discovering their own power, instead of going back. Oh, they connected Rey with, she is the granddaughter of Palpatine, and that is why she is so. You know what I mean? To me, it's kind of like, that's bullshit.
J.J. Abrams can't end things. He can't end.
No, he cannot. That's why. No, dude. I love Zodiac. Will let you know this. I fucking love Star Trek. Do I believe and do I feel that he kind of destroyed or ruined a little bit of the Star Trek franchise in the movies? Yeah, dude.
Oh well, Star Trek is how he got started. He did Star Trek like Star Wars.
No, and
Star Trek isn't Star Wars.
The whole Calvin. timeline that he freaking did. And now I'm just, and they try to connect the movie world with the TV world. And now we have Picard going on and all. And trust, I'm trying my hardest. I'm trying to follow. Hey,
Picard.
I love TNG. I love Picard. I love the show Picard. I love Voyager and Seven of Nine being there, and like them adding all that was awesome for me. Like, that was amazing. Are they trying to fix some things right now so that they can connect with the movie world? I feel like yes, they are, and they're changing a few things. Which hey, things have to be done this way now because of the whole J.J. Abrams things. I felt, but I like Picard.
I've never been huge into Star Trek. I was never huge into like Star Wars either. I guess I've always preferred Star Wars, but I don't have like this emotional attachment to Star Wars that a lot of people seem to have. Like my Star Wars sucked. The New Republic ones, and so like Jar Jar and like I was never. I remember what I remember more than the movies is the Taco Bell cups they sold with the lid that was like Jar Jar, or you can drink out of Obi-Wan's head.
It's hilarious.
That's funny. Yeah, I think I remember those too.
I just feel like there is so much that you can do with Star Wars, but instead of like honestly like starting your own new things like The Mandalorian, that is so badass. They just start, like, hey.
Well, so that's the direction that Star Wars is going to go. It seems like
it needs to. They need to bring out new characters, and that's why I'm so in love with Ahsoka Tano and how she's going to have her own series that's looking for Ezra Bridger. And that's, I like that. And new characters. And that's what I love about it. They're adding in and making and creating new heroes. And that's what they should have honestly done instead of this whole, I don't know, like Rey became freaking the granddaughter of Palpatine. And John Bodega, we literally, he's over there like using a freaking lightsaber, and come to turn out that like that's another whole mystery that they didn't even like go through, like, oh, he's supposed to be a special child. Like he has the potential to be a Jedi, just like those other children had the potential to be Jedis, but they didn't. It was just, there were so many things that they just left out because they were like, oh no, this is so much better. And then out of nowhere, they wanted Rey and Kylo Ren to like kind of get to each other. Like out of nowhere, dude. It came out of nowhere to me. Was it cool? Yeah. I think the first time I was all like, okay, I get this. But then like
I thought that I did think that the sex scene was too much.
It was just the first time I saw it was okay, but then like the more I thought about it, they could have went so many directions, but they wanted to do that. And I just feel also like I don't like the stories where there always has to be like a love thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be, you don't necessarily have to have like a love partner in order for you to tell a freaking story.
What they should have done is continued both characters' arcs and had her turn to the dark side, have him turn to the light side, and ultimately have him be the hero. That would have been the best, most interesting ending. I thought that Rian Johnson's film, the second one, was the best of the three. It like really tried hard to like wrench Star Wars off of these train rails that it's on, and like in a new direction with new characters and new stories. And then he had to put in the scene where they go to that gambling planet and they're like, we gotta free these animals, and it brings the whole film to a screeching fucking halt. There's no reason for it. It sucks. It's stupid. Just for like 15 minutes, they're gonna save these horse things outside of that scene, which kind of wrecks the film in a lot of ways because it's so long and it like.
Well, no, you're right.
It messes with the pacing so much.
And honestly, you're right. It didn't make sense. That whole part where, yes, they were meant to go there to go look for the guy that was supposed to break the code so they can get into the base or whatever bullshit that they were, whatever. And they didn't even find that guy. What they found was Benicio del Toro, because why not Benicio del Toro? And then it was just, it was right. So for some reason, the guy that it was not him, but it was him that they needed to break into the place, and then there's a lot of reaching.
They had to go get a certain specific guy to do this computer thing, and it turns out like no, like you can just find just like anybody can, like this like clearly handicapped person here can do it. So it's.
But after they talked to that alien that said no, you have to go find this guy because he is the only guy that can do it. After they were talking to that one alien, that tiny little alien thing, so there was a lot to me.
Instead of having like a scene where like they go and like they meet with him and get some secret information, and he says something to the effect of like, are you sure that we're safe here? And he goes, trust me, no one can catch me here. And then boom, they get caught, so they can like still do their jail breakout scene or whatever. But this time with the character they were supposed to meet, and without the big giant like 10-minute like chase scene where they gotta free and she like stops and says like, the whole world is made of love, and we gotta not sink into it, because if we do, we will suffocate in love, and like whatever I don't remember verbatim.
I don't do Star Wars, so I'm completely checked out.
Oh, you didn't see the new trilogy?
I don't even think I've seen. Well, wait a minute. I think I did see the latest one, the Rise of. I've seen him. I was on Sinex, I honestly, I don't make a connection. I didn't connect all the crap anyways. And another thing is too, I don't really care a lot about Star Wars, and then all the people who do care about Star Wars are all bashing it anyways. So if they're having a hard time kind of getting into it and understanding it, I'm way off in the distance. Like, well, it looks like you guys are having a bad time about this. All right, no big deal. So I haven't really been paying a lot of attention.
Why is Star Wars cult fandom hating Star Wars? I just don't understand.
Honestly, like I said, I personally, I'm not hating on it. I have issues with where.
I mean, I have issues with like I have issues with the films too. It just really, they should have gone with a third director for the third film who wrapped everything up. Instead, they panicked and they went back with J.J. Abrams, who he can't end a story. He's never like why would you hire the guy from Alias and Lost and what was like that movie about the kid and there's a train?
Cloverfield.
Cloverfield. Oh my God, the Cloverfield like Chronicles are like an excellent.
Yeah, I feel you. Why would you hire someone who creates movies that at the end of the movie you still have more fucking questions than you started with?
The reason that 10 Cloverfield Lane is a Cloverfield movie is because the ending sucked, and the studio was like, hey, fucking make this ending not suck, and so it became there's an alien when she breaks out. No questions.
Well, do you know, to their credit, they didn't want a movie of like, it was like how long was that freaking movie? An hour and 30 minutes. They didn't want an hour 30 minutes of a movie of a girl being locked up by freaking John Goodman. Like the whole entire film was just him keeping this girl locked up.
Yeah,
that would have been weird. I would have been. Yeah, it was creepy to begin with already. I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
That's a fine film. It doesn't have to be aliens. It can be the police.
Just a crazy mofo.
I don't. But that's J.J. Abrams. He can't end he can't fucking end things. And then you give him the biggest film franchise in the world. I think I think bigger than Avengers. If you give it to Mr. Can't Catch the Ball, you give it to old Greasy Fingers. You give it to old Drops the Ball a lot. I don't know sports.
Yeah, no, you're right. It was like I said, he did really drop the ball, and instead of just redoing the whole entire thing, where we're introducing new and improved Jedis, which the Jedi Order in this timeline is supposed to be kind of over, because they did have. If I'm a big Star Wars fan, and one of the faults that the Jedis did was the whole we have to stay within the light, where that is not what the true meaning of the Force. The true meaning of the Force is to have balance. there's always darkness to light. There's light to darkness. So you couldn't just stay like just plain light, because then it's unbalanced. You'd have too many people there has to be a balance there. And they could have went on and taught them that, like that would have been the new Jedi Order, where some of them, I mean, they still, some of them aren't the best, but they're still like, they're anti-heroes or anti-Jedi. You know what I mean? Like I think there's so much more. But instead they had to go back, and Emperor Palpatine was killed by Darth Vader, but with science, they kept him alive with all these things, and generations afterwards, he's still alive. And it's just, I'm like, yeah, it was just one of those things where, man, really, we could have tried something different, totally different things.
There was a different script, and there was a different director, and he's like given hints and stuff online about like what his film would have been like, and it would have continued from, instead of trying to backpedal on everything from the second film, it would have continued from the second film and gone in a new direction. I think would have more easily set up the Star Wars films to take cues from the Star Wars TV stuff, which is like universally, like, people like it, like there's isn't there like a cops themed Star Wars show on Disney Plus, Troopers?
Well, they're thinking about coming up with new ones.
No, I don't think so.
Like the Republics or Knights of Republics or something like that, where the Wing Fighters, the X-Wing Fighters, something like that.
I want more shit like the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian. You know how the Mandalorian is shot, right? They call it the volume. It's this giant, like, high-res HD TV room that literally gives them like a 360.
Oh my God! Yeah, I've seen that. You're like inside this bubble.
Yeah.
This dome thing. Yeah.
It's large enough that you can put a little bit of set in there, and then. Like on the fly, you can like make sure that like, oh, the dirt that we brought for this dirt hill that they gotta like step on or whatever, it doesn't quite match the dirt from our background that we made. So we gotta do color correction, where they can do it like right there. And then, oh, well, let's move this boulder closer. Let's put this fortress farther away or whatever. Really cool stuff. And the lighting, they don't have to, like, the Mandalorian, Mando, has shiny chrome armor. And they don't have to worry about like going in with CG and putting in reflections. They just have real fucking reflections.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like how and I like the technology that they have now, and it works.
The volume is fucking, I mean, like, it's gonna revolutionize at least, any genre television. You can, like, for any sci-fi or fantasy or whatever, like, you can just shoot on, like I said, like, if it's going to be mostly CG anyway, you just like build a little like bar and like part of a wall and do everything else, the rest of your bar scene for your fantasy epic in the volume. I don't know, it's really exciting. I like movie making tech. I think it's cool.
I just hope Matrix is cool. I just hope that one, and I'm excited for Dune. Do you like Dune?
So I don't know anything about Dune. I know that they, for whatever reason, I guess, what's his name? The guy who did Blue Velvet and Eraserhead, that television show that I've never seen that everyone likes, David Lynch. I guess there was this time after Blue Velvet, which I believe was a successful film. It made $8.6 million in 1986, which in today's money would be $4 billion. So after that, he got offered like these like big movies. Like I think he got offered the third. I think he got offered Jedi or no, not Jedi. Yeah, Return of the Jedi, the third film in the original series. And he got offered Dune, and he took Dune. And I haven't seen his version of Dune, but it like drove him crazy, and he hated it. And I
haven't seen that version of Dune, only because which I really should actually give that version a try. And I only haven't seen it because I watched the newer version of Dune on Sci-Fi, which I enjoyed a lot better. I like the books.
They do like a limited series or something on Sci-Fi?
Yeah, it was like a limited series, but it was a lot. I felt like it was more in depth. Because I love the book. There are book series. I love the whole, just the world of Dune. And now we're coming out with the newest freaking Matrix film. You know what I mean? Where it's artificial intelligence taking over. Whereas in Dune is actually set after the war with artificial intelligence. And one of the biggest laws in the world of Dune is thou shalt not make a machine that can think like a man, like a human. You know, those are the biggest things. We're not allowed to have computers anymore in the world of Dune. Yeah, dude, if we just got over the war with artificial intelligence and we actually won. We won, I think.
Yeah, but like at the end of the day, like Apple and Amazon would lobby, and like we'd still have like
right. And you know, then I wish that they would kind of do movies during the war with the machines and stuff like that, and how humans evolved in the world of Dune, and we as humans have evolved our bodies. Some people can have absolute control over their bodies and stuff. It's amazing. The Bene Gesserit witches.
And what can you do? I guess I can have to show you. Oh my god! Oh my god! Did you just shoot? Did you just ejaculate like a bullet? Yes, I did.
It's actually it's pretty fucking cool. Like I said, the Bene Gesserit witches, they have it to a point where they can choose the sex of the child that they're going to have. They are immune to all kinds of poisons. You try to poison a Bene Gesserit witch, they just expel that poison right out of their body. And they have the Weirdering move or something like that, where it's kind of like they've trained their bodies so well that when they're moving, it looks as if they just teleported from in front of you to and now they're like behind you. It's like it's a weird martial arts that they have created. It's really cool. I love like I said, the world building of Frank Herbert's Dune. Yes.
So Doctor, now that we've decided that it's going to be a boy, is it possible to make his wiener like real big? What are the rules?
Can they make it bigger? Can they make it bigger?
What are the rules on little kid wieners? Is that weird?
That's hilarious. But no, it's a good series, and I'm really excited for it. And it's different from what we have right now, because everything right now is all about like artificial intelligence, whereas this is kind of like, you know, hey, why don't we kick back a little bit, because we did go to war with machines.
Hey, it's got Timothy
Chalamet. I know, dude, and Zendaya. That's why I'm even more excited.
Hey, Zendaya,
great actors,
and attractive lady.
Great actors, great actors, and I'm all about casting. There has to be like believable actors, and these are really, really good actors that they all have. Majority of the people here. Thanos is in this film as well.
Oh, I fucking love Josh Brolin.
Dude, he's in this film as well.
Yeah.
So, like I said, very, very good actors. What's his name? The guy who played Apocalypse is in this film as well. He plays
the guy who played Poe Dameron.
Yes, him. Yeah, he's in this film. He plays Duke Leto, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, speaking of what's his name? I recently watched Ex Machina for the first time. It's like 20 years old now, but have you guys seen Ex Machina? It's a really interesting film.
No, I haven't seen Ex Machina.
It's like this genius CEO of like, you know, basically at Google has created an AI robot, and he flies in an employee who is specially selected to test it, you know, if he could tell that it was an artificial intelligence or not. And it's really interesting. Like, he starts to sort of fall for the robot, and plot happens.
Of course.
Yeah.
He tries to fuck it, of course.
Okay. Very interesting.
And it's made explicit in the film. It is explicitly stated in the film that she can be fucked.
Of course. Why would we make artificial intelligence that we can't stick our dick in?
Elon Musk.
Why would we create something?
Why else
like
would we watch the movie?
Elon Musk has already been making he's already talking
I saw that. Yeah. I saw that.
I mean, you know, like, if I were like a 60-year-old dude, and like, you know, like I was retiring or whatever, and I had the money, I mean, why wouldn't you want something that does the dishes and you can fuck it?
You know what? Can I just say this? I'm going to say this right now. If I was like 60-something years old and I had the money, I would use that money to try and reverse my aging somehow. Not buy some freaking expensive ass machine to just wash my shit for me. I would like to be all like, I don't know. I don't want to be like old and decrepit and just like have my artificial intelligent machine like doing shit for me while I'm just stuck in a couch. I would rather have spent all my money trying to like keep my youth.
I just see like the Judd Pirate Roberts in that scene in Princess Bride where he's getting the life sucked out of him, but like in reverse, but it's still like painful. Like, ah!
That's hilarious.
Okay, is the implicit question here, would you rather die or get on-demand, complaint-free for the rest of your life blowjobs? Is that what we're talking about?
That's hilarious shit.
I can't.
I mean, I gotta say, boys, I'm not siding with like live forever on this.
You're like a few good years of just no complaints, dick sucking.
Yeah, I get like a decade of just a robot. I mean, it's like I would keep in the closet, and it would just be for like, you know, like nights that like Esther's not having a good night, or she doesn't feel well.
That's hilarious. Like I said, no, I just couldn't imagine myself being like a Wall-E character where I'm just sitting there in my like chair and I'm having a bunch of like artificial intelligent machines just like walking around me.
Hang on one second. Hey Google, suck me off.
My apologies. I don't understand.
One day.
Not there yet, D. Not there yet.
We're gonna get there, and it's gonna be fucking amazing. I'm telling you.
I'm surprised she didn't even say anything back to you. Like, no.
Okay. So we've got a positive show here, and we talked about this. We all agreed that we would do this every episode. Just an inspirational quote for the listeners at home. Today I choose life. Every morning when I wake up, I can choose joy, happiness, negativity, pain, to feel the freedom that comes from being able to continue to make mistakes and choices. Today I choose to feel life, not to deny my humanity, but embrace it. Kevin Alcoin. Oh my God, I farted right at the end.
God, that's a big lunch.
Oh, I can't stop farting.
So much milk.
I choose art life, man. Art life.